Alright, we're back. Here we go.
And I can clean away some stuff. I thought for a moment that we had so many players on Team Hikari that it was going to overflow, but just we had a very long title there. Alright, and we are setting up to view another Division 5 match. So same maps as we just saw. Hikari versus X-Garbage.
Yeah, of course they can come head to head in the seeding tournament, but it's been a while since then. I think we've seen some minor roster changes on Hikari's side since then.
Yeah, I think they added Squidroll and Cookie maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, with a team that large, you may well see a different lineup today from then anyway.
Yes, so it'll be interesting to see who they've got. So we've got a few people in the lobby already, just waiting on one more before we get underway, I think.
That should be fine. Okay, and here we go. Yes, okay. So obviously we're going to be looking at the same set of maps we've just seen. So first 5 you'll have all seen not that long ago. Manta Zones to start off with, then Tower Control on Muscleforge Fitness, Rainmaker on Skip Pavilion, Clan Blitz on Port Mackerel, Turf War and Arawana Mall as the pivot. Now obviously it's far too early to call exactly which way it's going to go, but if we get to Game 6 it's going to be Splat Zones on Blackbelly Skate Park. After that is Tower Control on New Albacore Hotel, Rainmaker on Snapper Canal, and then as a potential Game 9 we've got Clan Blitz on Anchovy Games.
Oh, one thing I didn't check was player pronunciations for
oh yeah, we're going to have to
character
look at some of those.
there. Which,
well, I'm just going to go with Zeta.
Yep, Zeta sounds good. Other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah, alright, so it looks like our initial lineup at the moment, Hikari fielding Micah, Feb, Abby and Sai, and X-Garbage running with Wee, Ivy, Zeta as we've been considering, and Josh G as their last.
Looks like everyone's in, so we'll just wait for the teams to confirm they're ready. And,
yeah, looks like they just wanted to be sure that the there wasn't someone needing to be coming into the last spectator slot.
Right. Yes.
That's understandable.
Yep.
We've done a lot of double spectator commentary so far this season. All right. Well, Manta Zones. We saw some interesting play in the previous match.
Yeah, and we saw I think a good combination of a range bracket from Nameless, allowing them to, I think, take control of those zones, and Harold Holt with their own weapons not able to assert themselves on those zones. So it'll be interesting to see what the teams bring this time. I think X-Garbage, I think I'd be interested to see that ink brush with Splashdown come in. I think they used that on in the seeding tournament. I don't remember details, but I actually feel like maybe we might see some splashdowns out of these teams. Is what I'm saying. Where we didn't see any really in the past games. I don't think any players got splashdown last time. There's a chance I feel for us to see them in this game.
Yeah, well, I feel it's actually quite a nice map for splashdowns in zones. Alright, but none of those to be seen here. We've got, looks like actually a pretty similar loadout in X-Garbage to what a lot of both teams have been running. Kensa on both teams. Not many surprises, but we do see that Bamboozler on Wii. I'm looking forward to seeing that doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and as the teams come in, we've already got all 8 players in that little scramble.
Yeah, zipping up, zipping down, and an early cap there for Hikari.
And X-Garbage down a couple of players here actually, so a little bit of advantage for Hikari right now, and in fact going down 3 players with I think one player trying to get onto a point, dying on the point, unfortunately. Not so great. So I think someone's now coming out. So.
And here we've got how they're going to try and crash it. So Zeta with the ballpoint Splatling just moving up nice and unhurried. But then it looks like that Price Locker...
Oh, Bamboozler finishes it off, but the Price Locker's still there. X-Garbage takes the cap.
Alright, well, we've got only 4 players up on the whole map at the moment. This is
Yeah, and we do need, some movement onto the points to get a cap for X-Garbage. They still, want to get their points without a penalty.
Yeah, no, they I feel that they're well aware that there's quite a bit more room. That ball coming in onto their platform is going to be problematic. And indeed those Kenta dualies are able to capitalise on their specials on movement.
Okay, bomb not quite taking out Wii on the point there, and they are going to put a curling bomb onto point. Not exploding it in the right spot to neutralise. Hikari holds the hold.
And then we've just got an immediate recapture from X-Garbage and 2 down on Hikari's side. I think if we've proven anything so far this game is that both teams are really, really able to remove the other one.
Yeah, and or in the contrary, maybe the zones are encouraging the team to move out into different positions and they're going down to the players where and then opening up the opportunities. So we do see Josh, I think, was shooting at the player on the platform, scores a fall-off shot on the other.
Yeah, I think they actually got the person they weren't aiming at.
Possibly surprised them a bit there as well, not what they were expecting.
Third now Price a bit too aggressive up high, and it's all on the platform there from Hikari. They're all bottled up together. If X-Garbage are able to play this smart.
Bamboozler caught on the point there, does get taken out. The zones flipping back and forth. Hikari not in a position to assert pop power on the other zone, popping their bubbles early in fact.
Yes, I feel, well, they made it work anyway, but I do feel it was a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Well, that zone
they were
cap
probably
was...
going to paint that zone regardless of bubbles.
The zone cap was entirely facilitated by a player being splattered on the point, actually, on the field. Okay, we're seeing now whether Josh G can move in, but without team support, it's looking like a situation with 3 players providing a lot of cover.
X-Garbage need to be patient here, and they're doing all the right things. They're picking off Hikari piece by piece, and they've gotten that cap back without losing a player until after the cap is secured.
Yeah, so back on the points, we've got good jump positions here as well. I think securing this platform.
Really putting out some extraordinary range.
We do see those terrifying bubbles come in.
Yes, that forward throw, of course, with an object shredder, it can just get chain reactions going like nobody's business. Zeta, standing fast in face of the ball and unfortunately getting punished for it.
Still gives the team the opportunity to get the cap. Unfortunately, 3 players down. It's probably not going to hold for long, but we're going to see what Josh G can do here. 10 missiles providing huge pressure, so it's Ivy.
Ivy manages to go back in and takes out Micah, despite that pressure of numbers and special.
Hikari gets the double cap, but Ivy bought a huge amount of time for their team.
Yeah, they're able to come in essentially with a 3v3 situation. Josh managed to facilitate the cap with the ball explosion, but it's surely going to go back.
I think this is anyone's game at this point. I think X-Garbage do need to shore up a little more control of the sides, but the points are ticking down, and Hikari, I think, right now thinking about, do we hold one zone, do we try and pressure both zones?
Do we just give up on them and go for the team wipe?
Do we get all our specials out? So they're up, it's 3v3, or just taken the numbers in their favour, but they lost the lead in the process of doing so.
Yes, it won't take long for them to get it back, but we do have X-Garbage players already returning to the fray.
Yeah, so X-Garbage had some really good jump positions. They're able to actually reappear on the point probably faster than Hikari were expecting, and now we're going to see whether they can hold it just long enough with this overtime. It's really close to a Hikari double cap here.
And they didn't have the time.
X-Garbage take it.
Wow, that resolve from X-Garbage was really quite something to see. They had been tracking behind in points for the whole match. There was no point where they were ahead until that time they overtook right by the end, and they didn't lose control. They realized that it was an achievable goal, but they just needed to make the right plays at the right time.
It was very, very close at the end, and we did see Hikari, I think, faltering over, deciding, do we just hold one point? And this is always the dilemma you come up with a 2-zone map. You know that which is your win condition? Pressure both points, or hold 1 point for all your dear life and don't let a double cap happen.
Yeah, over time, double zone maps are always this dilemma. You've got to weigh, the extent to which you can afford to leave it neutral, against the imperative to, defend yourself, to not get wiped. So, as you were saying earlier, I think we are looking at two very evenly matched teams.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to see the matches are quite close. We did decide to put them in the same div after some of the seeding results, and based on the match results alone, maybe it wasn't justified. I think what we've seen from X-Garbage is they have a lot of tenacity.
Yeah, they don't just give up when things aren't looking the best for them. They can absorb some unsuccessful assaults, regroup, and do their best to get back in as quickly as possible, and often without risking too much in the process.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about getting back in, because that's some of the play that stood out to me most in the seeding tournament, that they excelled at getting back in, and maybe some of their weaknesses was that they were in a position where they were a whole team down and had to get back in together, but when they did have to do it, they did usually manage to pull something together. So we're heading into tower control on Muscle Force Fitness.
So, you've got a lot of similar situations to Manta Zones where you can just play with the verticality a bit. You've got a lot of little bits where you can zip up high, use some grates, and then just drop on people. And seeing a few weapon changes here and there. Not a tremendous amount. Hikari swapping things out quite a bit. X-Garbage only making some minor adjustments.
Yeah,
We've got cool missiles there on X-Garbage.
Yeah. And did we have a custom blaster in the last game?
No, we did not. We had no blaster at all.
So, good, nice pick for tower control with the burst damage possible as you try and attack the tower. And now Hikari getting a good wipe to open up with. It's time to start pushing.
It's a very strong start. Perhaps a little bit lax in getting on the tower, but it's probably not going to cost them.
It's not going to cost them much. Really what they want to do right now is break checkpoint 1. Anything more than that is a bonus here, because X-Garbage are going to be streaming in on top of that. So if they can keep them on their toes, on the move, they're going to get to checkpoint 2.
Josh does manage to briefly drive them off the tower, but then they just get swarmed by a bunch of others. And I think Hikari's problem now is their weapons are all getting caught at close range where they're not necessarily that comfortable.
Yeah, but look, the tower is continuing to move, and X-Garbage just have had to leave their backs open to Micah's attack in order to meet the tower at the front, and this is going to be a knockout. I don't think there's anything that X-Garbage can do right now.
No, that's pretty much it.
Dominant play. Hikari saying, no, game 1, we let it get down to pretty closely matched final score, but this time we're just going to roll in and take the match.
Yeah, well, and it was that situation where essentially the frontliners did all the work. You can see there,
we see a lot of most of X-Garbage not able to get any picks in that whole game.
I think it wasn't until the very end when it had pretty much already been decided. Zeta got a good pick with the ballpoint, but it was far too late to really mean anything. So it looks like the odd lightning win might be the order of the day. We saw it happen in Rainmaker Snapper just before. We've seen it happen now on Muscle Forge Tower. So Rainmaker Skipper rather, and it is in fact Skipper time again.
Yep. And I think, again, we're going to see this come into play once you've been thrown off a little bit. The plan's not going, it's not executing, things are starting to all fall apart. Can you just hold your nerve and get the picks that you need to facilitate your team's re-entry? So that time, X-Garbage not able to do it. We were talking about how they were able to come in before. This time, no. Hikari in all the right places to interrupt, use their specials. So we saw Booyah Bomb come out. We saw players pressuring equally objective and spawn points so that X-Garbage just had to panic. And we're going to see how this plays out on Skipper Rainmaker. I keep wanting to say
I keep on wanting to say Snapper. So
we'll get there at some point.
We will. All right. So once again, we're seeing a few adjustments here. That Kenta Sloshing Machine and the Kenta L3 Nozzle Nose there on Hikari's side. Meanwhile, we've got Josh going back to the Kenta Dualies on X-Garbage.
And we have possibly each team with a preferred Rainmaker carrier. We've got Bamboozle set up with 2 speed up, and on the other side I think we have Feb set up with 2 speed up.
Alright, well, it looks quite indecisive so far. We've only had an odd little bit of splats here and there. Players only going down in 1s and 2s. But now it looks like Hikari are feeling like they've got something starting. And we've only
out comes the
Hammer going forward.
And
but I think
Bamboozler can't get the picks they need, and we're seeing the exact same route that Nameless took.
Yes, it's interesting seeing that one getting used so much.
It's the knockout in almost the same ways. This time, X-Garbage didn't even have anyone near the podium to
No, they
combat
couldn't
it.
quite manage the chase. You know, unfortunately, they had 2 players had committed to going down the drop, and you know, were putting paint around where the Rainmaker was, but couldn't get enough hits on it.
So lightning fast knockout from Hikari. How many seconds was that match? Did it even get to a minute? I think.
No, not even close.
That one just went. You blink, you miss it, and now we are heading to Clan Blitz on Port Mackerel, and we really need to see X-Garbage find some composure here, because the last 2 games, quick knockouts,
they've taken less time than the first one.
It's a knock to morale. When you have that happen to you, it's not fun. So you really need to find your composure again, come into this match, think about what the plan is. We're just going to collect those clams, take them down to the other team's goal.
Yeah, of course, Mackerel does offer a lot of interesting options that aren't necessarily available all the time in Clan Blitz because it's so flat and there are so many line of sight obstructions. You can just zip around in the middle and it can be quite hard for the other team to tell where you are as long as you don't have a power clam on you.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic the way that the map works and the call-outs on that map works. If you call someone on left, they can zip across to right so fast, your call might be irrelevant. So it becomes a little bit of a test of who's helping to cover each other without necessarily calling the other team's positions, because those can be irrelevant so quickly. And then suddenly someone's flanked you from behind when your teammate called them as being, you know, in the they're in court and they've swum out behind you so fast. So
yeah, you know, Splatoon's a very, very fast-moving game, and it's important to be able to keep your awareness in the moment and not get hung up on things that were, you know, even 5 seconds ago, it was ages ago.
Yeah, and I think one of the more one of the better tactics for teams here is actually to be more aware of your own team. In Clan Blitz, Port Mackerel, be very aware of your own team and what they're doing. The other team, don't come to you, take them out. Or, I mean, when they have that clam coming in, you know that it's going to come in. When they've got their specials ready, you know that that push is going to come. So, I'm not saying be reactive, but because it is hard to pin down where they might be, you might want to think about how you can make your own pushes to force them to reply.
And we've got an ink brush coming out.
Yes, there's that ink brush. So this time the baller won, I think, but I was hoping to see one of the teams bring an ink brush, and we do see it coming from them.
Yes, I feel Baller is a better option for a clams match, although Baller in general I feel is certainly, I think it's perhaps a bit overrated by some things as a push for clams.
It's a way to start your push onto that basket, but one of the problems that teams sometimes have with it is, do we have a disconnect? We have a disconnect,
yep.
So we are going to see.
We're going to see the fun of trying for a knockout. X-Garbage still contesting. Perhaps they didn't get the memo.
Maybe they weren't sure about eligibility.
Yeah. This is the first disconnect they've had, isn't it?
I believe it is. But... Okay, do we have people moving now? Yeah, looks like, well, teams haven't said anything, and we're possibly just playing on. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to deal with it.
So we might just see what happens here. X-Garbage will be considering to accept the result of this match if they continue playing on, which they have, and it's been long past any grace period.
Yeah, it seems a bit like they perhaps they're just aren't familiar with the DC rules.
Alright, we'll see whether they can defend against this last push, but we have this situation. I think Hikari could just roll in and knock out pretty...
Yeah, at this point they need 2 power clams in a small...
yeah, X-Garbage setting up to super jump in.
It looks like they're going to at least get some power in, but...
Okay, so they're not going out of this without any points, and they're going to stay in with Ivy as the last one up. Only able to trade there, so going 3 players down and setting up Hikari with a lot of points and a new power clam to...
They've already got everything they need, they just need to get into position.
Yeah. So they've got enough clams in hand, but maybe right now they X-Garbage can take advantage of this. 2 clams does mean that the players' positions are marked, and as they try and initiate on the point, their brush goes down. We're going to see
drastically overconfident.
Yeah.
Bubbles now coming in,
and I think this might allow for a score here.
Yes, the bubbles this time couldn't get shredded.
And we do see that super jump come in, does get scored, so it's not far left to go for Hikari.
No. However, they have been bleeding players here and there, and they're probably not going to be able to get to the basket before it closes again. So this is going to be, the knockout is going to be a very slow one.
Yeah, so X-Garbage is actually doing a good job here, and I think Hikari a little overconfident when they had those 2 balls up.
They feel that they seriously overplayed their hand.
Yeah. So they're actually going to have to play this maybe a little more conventionally now. We're going to see another push on the baskets with a lot of the turf coming up. Joshby not able to score quick, I think, two skids there. So, Rain coming to the point. We're going to see, I think this brush will get a quick score.
Yes, and then the question is whether or not the bubbles are enough to get into the rest.
And they only need to get 4 of those clams in the basket, so...
But they've just decided that they don't want to, they're just going to keep on running forward instead of actually getting the knockout.
So, Hikari losing another opportunity to knock out, but their next power clam is a guaranteed knockout.
This feels like a solid new match.
We will see.
X-Garbage, unfortunately, not able to take advantage of their extra freebie. It's a bit tricky when it's happening so fast. And when you've only got 3 players, there's only, like... Unfortunately, you just got to limit your expectations.
Right now, they need to risk letting Hikari come to them again and picking them off, but because only one power clam needs to go in the basket for Hikari's knockout, it's way riskier than the previous defense that they held.
Yeah, the one consolation ball, of course, that's just gone
and
away.
And here it comes. Yeah, here's the knockout.
The knockout.
Look, we are not getting a replay on this map. I'm going to hurry up. So it's quite unfortunate for X-Garbage. Hikari just able to pressure them all match with I feel like they were allowed to have a lot of sloppy play there because they had the numbers advantage. We saw them go down quite a few times against only 3 defenders, but it took them 3 breaks of the basket.
When really they should have been able to do it in 2 at least, if not 1.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do we have everyone in? Or
yeah, we've got everyone in, so it looks like we're just moving forward onto Arowana more turf war.
Yep. So Hikari have offered a replay that Lewis.
No, I don't think so. Is this in a different chat?
Yeah, but I think no response, so they moved on.
Yeah, in Captain's chat. Well, it is what it is. That's how it goes, unfortunately.
Alright, well, we're gonna go into Turf War now, one more, I think.
Yeah. Always forward, never left or right.
Well, especially in this map, because it is a long and thin map. And we're going to see, hopefully X-Garbage doesn't have another disconnect issue. And hopefully, 3 minutes this time, we'll have the whole game to no fast knockouts. Hopefully no disconnects. Maybe they'll find some time to, get their feet on the ground and just get some nice control and then accelerate from there.
Yeah, find a bit of pace. The clan match, I think, we'll see how it goes. I was actually quite pleased with how the 3 remaining X-Garbage players handled themselves in that. Hopefully they're not going to feel too tilted by that and they're going to be able to put up a proper fight here.
Yeah.
Alright, and a few weapon changes coming out here. So we've got the Aerospray MG coming out there. We've got a Splat Scope, we've got a Custom Junior, we've got a Splat Relic.
So some interesting weapon picks from the teams here, and already Hikari pushing into mid.
Well, X-Garbage there as well. Both teams contesting that elevated area. We've got rain coming out already, and not even from the gym yet.
Yeah, so we'll see another rain come out. So both teams, in this case now, with the passive special we talked about before, that rain is pretty nice in turf war. Especially when we're setting the tone in the early stage of the game. We get a little bit more turf now.
So Zeta they're pushed back by that splatter scope shot from Micah. Josh G lurking around, skirmishing with Abby, realising that they're at a disadvantage, and then Wee comes up and cleans up that rifle.
Great work from the Brella there, using the distraction from their team to get the splash.
More often you see the Brella being the distraction rather than the one getting the splash.
And out comes the Stingray on this map.
And Wee, however, gets straight into Micah's face, does go down.
And then we do see a trade on the left alley.
I feel it actually made the Stingray significantly less dangerous than it might have been. No, we unfortunately have a drowning.
Yeah, Ivy goes into the water, but it's not going to cost them too much right now because I think Hikari's quite deep in their base. Where are they?
Let's go up to the God's Eye view. They're taking their time, coming out from their sneakiness from the snow.
Okay, so taking a little more time to maybe paint up their base. There are some patches still, maybe next time they come out.
We're there, just potentially making that Aerospray wasted bomb rush, taking a bunch of turf that like Hikari already had, but going down 1v2.
So this is nice rain coming out from X-Garbage, and we're seeing here Hikari may be pushing up one by one, and I was going to say that was going to be a big mistake, but as I said that, the Charger got a nice pickup in close, which made a big difference.
We've seen it out of the picture. All of those close range weapons can pretty much just walk straight up and face all of them.
Yeah, so Zeta going down again, and now it's up to this Brella combo to take that out. They do get the pick. X-Garbage on the back foot here, but
the consolation prize for X-Garbage though is that Hikari have done a very bad job of capitalising on their deep set of games.
Yeah, and I think have not actually turfed up their base that well at this point. So going into the last 30 seconds, I don't think this is a done game yet.
No, absolutely not.
We see a trade there. Abby's, I think, was it an auto bomb found something, but then someone else got that mark. And Stingray can't paint much, but X-Garbage down 3 players. So really tough situation here for both teams.
Hikari have it unless they choke.
We're going to see we come in with that Brella, and now let's see. Final judgment from the Cats.
Yeah, well, the Cats
and actually, the auto bomb's finding some very nice turf at the very end there.
What a good little chicken.
Yeah. Okay, so great push, Pink, right up into the base. What do we got?
Yeah. A confident win in here.
Hikari's win there. Alrighty, so we're heading to
back to splat zones.
I did not see what the score was. 46 to 30 something.
Oh no, 38 point something.
38,
34, I'm not sure. That's the problem with turf, you don't know until the end.
That's it.
It's not going to be stuck in your brain over minutes and minutes of seeing it from when it was set. Still, Blackbelly Skate Park, another 2-zone map. Another one where you've got a lot of elevation around the middle. But, for all those superficial similarities, it certainly has a very different rhythm from Manta Maria.
And I'm actually, it'll be really fun to head to Blackbelly. We didn't get to see it in the previous set. Yeah. And zones, this is a 2-zone map again, which we saw that tug of war between X-Garbage and Hikari in the first game.
And of course, the big difference here is that big obstacle in the middle it's got a bunch of small obstacles around it as well, and it's effectively impossible to directly ink one zone while you've also got the other one, unless you're standing on the pillar in the middle. There are almost no other places where you can affect them both at once. Certainly, we're not going to see any of those situations with people just casually tossing bubbles across both zones and just getting them, a pair of them into one push. You're going to have to work a bit harder if you want to get them both.
Alrighty. Here we go. Oops, that is not the right thing. I did not realise that we were doing that.
Well, that's an interesting thing you've conjured up there. I guess we'll just have to go radio style for now. So we are seeing one or two interesting weapon adjustments. We've got an X-Garbage coming out there on Hikari's side. Meanwhile, 4-point Nuvo and Tri-Slasher Nuvo need double rain. We've got that double rain as well coming out from X-Garbage. They've kept essentially the same loadout. We've got no real cap happening. Both teams getting... Oh, there we go. An early cap to Hikari. But Josh's baller smashes Abby. Unfortunately, they're a bit too aggressive on the back of that, and it's looking like X-Garbage are going to be pushed back to their spawn a bit. Down to one player against 2 on Hikari, and then unfortunately the bubble blower just takes up that last isolated player. So Hikari get a bunch of points opportunities here that they otherwise wouldn't have had, without that confidence.
And yeah, we do see the 101 plus one come out. X-Garbage now mostly coming out to that same location, coming in with a baller and 10 missiles, so we might see a tap here if they get really fast coverage on the home zone for Hikari, and that double special force not able to secure anything for X-Garbage.
We do see 2 go down though.
Okay, here we go. We're going to take a little bit more to take the double cap. Goes to X-Garbage. So
that was step 1. Step 2 though might be significantly harder. Zeta playing very defensively, very backline there with that 4-point Nuvo. I think perhaps they will and do manage to get fed at least, but I feel that they'd be better served getting up high on that pillar and using that range. They're not dealing with a charger anymore. The longest range weapon on the other team is the same as their own. It looks like Hikari are hoping to get a sneaky cap here. They've got X-Garbage's zone and their own one is very neutral. But, oh boy, the numbers here now are going very much Hikari's way. Rain making it almost impossible to see anything.
Yeah, so that rain
getting very overconfident.
The rain allowed the points to stay neutral for quite a while actually.
So not the worst situation for X-Garbage to be trying to get back in here. They do have to deal with the fact that once again, the central pillar is entirely Hikari.
I just want to say that the little guy in the background with his arms up, the inflatable
flail.
Yeah, looks sometimes a little bit like an enemy. So I was wondering what Zeta was shooting at there.
Down to a 2v2 here briefly. Looks like Josh is going to try and make a ball. Gets a pick, but gets taken out by that ball.
Yeah, not able to get the baller out. 10 missiles coming in, so not able to get that double special push that maybe they wanted. And Zeta having to pull back just a little bit.
Yeah, once again, playing very deep there. Looks like getting into a duel with Sai, but then Mike is able to just add that extra little bit of hurt with the X-Squasher. Abby's done a big spawn invasion, and in fact gets another one. That's the wipe. And honestly, Hikari, they should have been ticking down for a good 20 seconds there, but they just weren't. It's X-Garbage's, they've got to get out of jail free card here, but that's all they're going to get.
Yeah, this is their last chance, and they're a couple of players down. Bamboozler now having to take the points and deal with
people in front and behind, and it's just not going to work.
That's not going to spell success for them. So unfortunately, going out in a knockout there, very strong play from Hikari. Ending the set at 5-1.
Yeah. A bit unfortunate having that disconnect in clans. Sometimes that can really throw a team off their rhythm. But Hikari were playing excellently from the second game onwards, really.
Yes.
Very much in charge of exactly what happened when, without really giving X-Garbage many options in terms of how they could respond.
So on reflection, I think X-Garbage, they had good coming back in when they had a couple of specials, or they could get their group like their group in a particular formation, but as soon as that started falling apart, so when they didn't have ball detentor missiles, when they didn't have good coverage of like positioning, they would not be able to break back in. Hikari, on the other hand, I think occasionally a bit lax. They allow...
Oh, they were sloppy as anything.
Yeah, and this is the sort of play that should be quite straightforward for them to improve upon and become even scarier.
Like when you've got a team wipe, cap the zones.
Yeah, so we saw instances where they had team wipes where they might have been able to get additional score. So that happened, I think, on tower control when they made their first push. Took a little while for them to work out who was going to sit on tower. We saw it happen in Clan Blitz, where they had trouble maintaining the basket, so that keeping it open while also doing an excellent job of pressuring the other team. And we saw it here in Splat Zones, where we actually had a lot of the team decide to push forward and enjoy pressuring X-Garbage, but not thinking about the objective. And so that's one of the things where when you're thinking about your team and where they are, and I think we talked about it on Clan Blitz already, think about whose job it is to actually be forward and pressuring. And if you're behind, it must be my job to paint the zone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't afford to think that it's someone else's problem.
On the other hand, we saw this same situation where X-Garbage, when they were desperate, they were left with maybe players not without the right weapon adaptability to the situation to move in. So a couple of times we forced a cap zone with that bamboozler, and a bamboozler can cap the zone, but they can't do it while also under pressure.
Yeah, there's a weapon that you don't want to be using in that kind of situation.
Yeah, so unfortunately, a few times things didn't quite work out for them. So interesting play from both teams. It was quite interesting to watch that match. Went down. We see a few KOs on the board, but not super far out of their league. But as we said, I don't think it will take many changes from Hikari to put them one step above again.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the kind of stuff that certainly on paper is very easy to improve because it's a simple matter of just being a bit more mindful. But, like easier obstacles have stood in the way of teams in the past and they've still not quite managed to overcome them. Sometimes it's just a matter of practice and coordination.
And it's what works for the team as well. Yeah. So from our commentator's perspective, we might have one point of view. The team might have other things they want to work on. So it'll be really interesting to see them work together and grow over the course of the season. Yeah.
Be very interesting to see where things end up next week. That's it for us so far. We've had 2 very cool Div 5 games. We will have some more matches being played this evening, and I'm pretty sure we had results reported, and we've had Goizor dropping some hints about something pretty spectacular in the Div 4 match that got played earlier this afternoon. So I'm certainly hoping we can find some time to slot that one in for broadcast, but for now we're going to be going off stream. Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We'll catch you around.